Hey, Trench Dogs, bear with us. We're just talking about the best cigarettes ever. The best cigarettes ever, not post-coital. You were saying what?
Post-call centre smokes.
Post-call centre smokes.
When you've been hounded by your boss all day talking to people on insurance claims.
Yeah.
Back in the days of smoking. Fucking stunning.
Back in my drinking days, post 5 p.m. cold beer ciggies. My first proper job was working for Sky News, yeah? This is how old I am, right? In Sky News, you could smoke in the office, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
But we didn't, out of kindness to our fellow non-smoking colleagues. So what we used to do is we used to go into the studio where Sky News was being filmed and stand behind the cameras smoking a cigarette. And that was deemed perfectly acceptable. The poor fucking newsreader would reading the news with 12 people just stood behind and go, Kosovo, fucking hell, eh?
Director's like, can we call it on the Atmos, please? Can we call it on the Atmos machine?
Yeah. The floor manager would just be waving it. Anyway, I digress. I'm Jamie East.
I'm Alice Bryant.
And this is the Celebrity Trenches Weekly Dick Splash, the podcast that dissects the madness and the joy of celebrity culture and brings our hot takes on the world of showbiz.
So buckle up, because here comes another week of celebrity chaos and tales that absolutely need discussing.
Like bees trapped in a jar waiting to be let out, it's time to unscrew the lid and release our celebrity stories into the world.
And sweet as honey, on the menu this week, we've got a special treat for you. We're talking about the Beckhams.
Yes, you're a fan of the Beckhams.
Indeed.
I'm a fan of the Beckhams. We're going to be joined in the studio by journalist and author Alison Boshoff, or Bosch to her mates. She's got a new book out called Brand Beckham. So expect all the tears we lift the lid on David, Victoria and the whole family, the whole estranged family. Get all the insider gossip from Alison and what it's really like being slap bang in the middle of Brand Beckham.
Exactly. And we weigh in on the Let's Marry Harry debate that many of you are talking about.
Before we get started, though, this is going out on the Wednesday. We record this earlier on in the week. And you will have heard, as well as us, about the sad news about the passing of Hayden Panettiere. Now, the circumstances of her death aren't clear, and the family have asked for privacy. But
It's
condolences to her family, her daughter, and everyone that knew and worked with her. 36 is no age whatsoever. If there's any form of legacy, the two shows that she's best known for are fucking amazing. Go back and watch series 1 of Heroes. Well, I think it's on Disney Plus, actually. It was early noughties, and I think probably stylistically probably feels like a million years ago, but it was one of the first proper box set series and she was the star of it. Save the cheerleader, save the world was the slogan that ripped through the planet in the early noughties. It was so fucking good. And then she was in Nashville, which is also absolutely amazing. So do go and watch both of those. As a bit of a salute to Hayden, gone too soon. Reality dating shows are back.
Always.
Right?
They never went away.
There was a show back in 2014, very, very similar, called I Wanna Marry Harry. Do you remember this? Where the premise was that 20 women thought that they were flown over to a Berkshire mansion for a reality series where they were told that they could win a date with Prince Harry.
That's it.
The joke was, how fucking dim. I've already sworn. One in the swear jar. We need a Trench's swear jar.
I don't have the funds.
How dim must you have been to join a reality show thinking, yeah, I'm sure Prince Harry has signed up to this. Turns out it was a Prince Harry lookalike, and none of them got a date with Prince Harry. But this is something very different. Netflix have got a new reality dating show starring Harry Jowsey, best known from Too Hot to Handle and Perfect Match. Alice, I'm 52. Give me the lowdown on Harry Jowsey for an old man.
This guy is so on the internet and so on telly that everybody kind of knows who he is. He's Australian.
Okay.
And that's, I guess, why he's on so many American shows, because Americans fucking love Australians because they are very similar.
Okay.
I actually describe Australia myself as Big Florida. The whole country is Big Florida.
But he's just wheeled out to all of these different ones. A bit like Joey Essex is on Towie.
He's in a lot of these dating shows. And I guess the narrative that keeps coming up with him is that he'll, go on Love Island and say he's in love with some girl, and then the next episode he dubs her at the fire pit and then cheats on her, and then
he's a cad.
Then sort of leaves the villa. He's not even been on Love Island, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, he's been kind of running around on all these American TV shows, and I just see him popping up every now and then.
Is a fuckboy, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they decided, could you believe it? Give him his own show.
Bango.
So Alex Cooper is an executive producer on the show.
Of Let's Marry Harry?
Yeah. She's also behind the Call Her Daddy podcast. She has arguably created her career interviewing people about relationships, sex, and dating, and is now behind the scenes on this show. And they've got 20 women all showing up to apparently marry Harry. And I think the angle is like...
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Well, I don't know. People are really obsessed with marriage, bro. And I don't understand it.
Why do you want to go on a reality show when the premise is to marry someone you've never seen before?
Well, probably because it's for your career. That's the other thing. This is one of those ones where I just know for a fact that every woman on the show doesn't give a fuck what the show's about. And it's just like, I really need to get some TV credits because I'm trying to make a living off being like a content creator on Instagram.
Yeah.
And this would really, really help that.
Marriage is irrelevant. It could be wrestling a crocodile. It could be eating a human turd.
Yeah, they all got DMs in their inbox from some TV producer and just said, hey, we're really interested in...
Yes!
Yeah. 100%. I would never be able to say, I would love to say yes to some of that shit, but you can't control the edit. And that is what really freaks me out. But my favorite thing on these shows is when everybody is like, so this is Susie, and Susie's a model and influencer with a skincare line she's about to launch.
Yeah.
And she's dating this absolute scumbag called Harry.
Yeah.
And then they start the narrative of like, I don't think she's here for love. It's like, what? I think she might be here for fame.
You've got to be kidding.
She signed up via DM to a dating show about marrying someone who could be literally the fucking Grim Reaper. You think maybe she's got ulterior motives and deep love connection?
But there was this was one of the women that appeared on it went on TikTok saying that she was not told that she would be marrying someone called Harry.
So the video is actually from one of the finalists.
Yeah.
Who we all thought was called Danielle, but it's actually Danelle Davidson.
Not a real name.
Which is, I mean, it's not a good start when your parents miss a pretty much key vowel on your birth certificate.
Why not just call her Danielle?
It's Danelle. Oh, it's because we want it to be super complicated.
Not a real name.
And the video she makes, with all due respect, I don't know her personally, it's not very good. It's extremely boring. And I think if she's one of the finalists and this is her ability to like hold a conversation, boy, are we in for a dull fucking show. That's all I'll say.
It entertained me that much. She actually deserves to marry Harry.
You
suit each other well. Saves you from spoiling another couple, as my grandmother used to say. This was the whole thing, and it blew up on TikTok. But then you listen to it. I mean, in fact, this is the start of it.
I didn't know that it was Harry. I didn't find out until maybe 2 weeks before I was going on the show that it was Harry. And then I found out like a week before I left that I was actually going. But anyways, I guess the point that I wanted to make was I didn't know what I was exactly signing up for. I knew it was a marriage show, and like I've been wanting to be married for as long as I can remember.
Okay, you got that?
Yep.
However, I think being told a fortnight before is ample time for it to settle into your brain, my lady.
I think it's been flagged. I think if you pointed out to the guy captaining the Titanic that there was an iceberg 2 weeks before, he probably would have missed it.
But the finale went out, I think, last week. People are up in arms about it. And I just want to say, why do so many women want to date such a mid guy? I'm not in the dating market, haven't been for a long time. Is that what it's like out there?
I haven't been in the dating market in a long time either, just because like, fuck that, you know? So I think pretty much it's basically all that is really out there is Harry Jowsey's. So like most women I know are single.
There will always be dating shows, right? There always have been, there always will be. In the 80s, it was Blind Date with Cilla Black. She owned Saturday night TV for the best part of 30 years. But that was like so like gentle. The format that was across the world where they'd sit in between a screen, you'd have to read out facts about yourself, and it'd be like, what would you do to me if you saw me in a swimming pool? And it'd be like, oh, I'd love to rub her dinghy. You know, that kind of thing. And it would be that kind of thing. And then you'd win the date, and you would, and you'd go and have a steak dinner in like Blackpool. That would be the date, and they'd film it.
Have a nice steak, Diane. Yeah.
Amazing bit, right? Once the News of the World, I think, tried to send an investigative reporter to go to be one of the people taking part in it, so they could report from behind the scenes, right? It was for Cosmopolitan magazine, not News of the World. Cilla found out whilst they were filming it, and she kept it. Didn't tell a soul, right? until the following week when they came back to do their post-date interview. And you've got to go and watch this on YouTube, right? Google Cilla Black blind date. And she's talking, she's like, so love, did you like your date? She's like, oh yes, I really like. Well, that's funny because you're not who you say you are you? She's like, ladies and gentlemen, she's having Laura laughs at our expense. She's actually a journalist. And like, boo, it's just one of the greatest moments. And like this, but also this poor guy that went on a date with her who thought he'd found love.
He's just sat, this IT programmer's just sat there like, oh,
but
man.
My question is, do these dating shows reflect the dating like situation? Because back then, you met people in nightclubs. You bonded in a smoking area. You went home. You had a shag. You woke up in the morning and you were just like, well, looks like I got myself a girlfriend then. And that was it until you split up. That was how you met your wives and husbands and fiancés and partners back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, bring it
you
back.
You went out, got leathered, woke up and someone was lying next to you and that was it.
No, bring it back. In the hetero world and the straight world, we're in an epidemic of men wanting princess treatment. And I think this reflects it very much.
Yeah.
Every guy right now it's the dating show format of 20 girls just fucking desperate to marry you.
Yeah.
Is actually how they'd like it to be in real life. They all want to have 20 girls that they're all dating, that they get to pick one at the end. No, and they want them to be like begging on the ground. Like you booking all the dates, you call him, you chase him. If you go to the club where people used to get hit on and like meet people, you know, like the booths where like girls will sit with like their wine bottle and they're like kind of in the booths and vibing and it's like nice. Those are just chock-a-block full of men. Right. I was in a nightclub the other day and there was like all these booths with just guys in them and no girls in them. Right. And the boys are just all there. And like girls were going up trying to get into where they were sitting and getting turned away. Fuck. And I was like, what is this? What's happening? What's happening?
There's got to be some
middle ground.
But
I don't know what the situation we're in right now. I don't know what the
fuck
fuck
it is. In my day, you met someone because you slipped over on sick on the dance floor when you were dancing to Suede. You looked up and there was a woman staring up at you.
That was back in my day too. Yeah. Like back in that used to be how it was.
And nowadays you've got to go and sit in a villa being filmed.
You basically have no choice but to go on a dating show.
It's not empowering.
No, it's just, but also like it creates this, again, it really functions around this like heteronormative narrative of marriage being the prize, marriage being some big tangible thing. People talk about marriage like it's 1.5 million pounds. They're like, I've always wanted to have 1.5 million pounds. But anyway, this show.
I got married and I think I lost 1.5 million pounds.
But yeah.
I love you, darling. Love you, darling.
I think like normal, you know, like people wanting to get married is a thing. I just think commoditizing it the way it's been on so many, and the way people talk like, I'm really looking for a husband. I don't care who the fuck it is. I just want to have a husband. I'd like to say the word husband.
Here's our pitch, right? Here is the Celebrity Trenches pitch for the next generation of dating shows. If you want retro, let's do a retro dating show where it was dating in 1996. I want cool Britannia, hot summer, like new Labour. There was positivity. The world was looking fucking great. And you're in the Blue Note in Derby. It's Thursday night. It's 6 cans of Red Stripe for £5. And you've got 4 hours to find a husband or a wife for the evening. Commission that, Netflix, and I guarantee you'll get more controversy than you will ever get with your million Love Islands.
I think it's brilliant. I would call it Knocked Up in the 90s.
Knocked Up in the 90s.
And so instead of getting married...
Hang on a sec. Let's get a bit too close to home. 1998, I was there, 2 kids.
That's how it worked. Bring that back. Knocked Up in the 90s, our new favourite show.
The Blue Note in Derby has got a lot to answer for, let me tell you.
I think it's great.
Commission it. It'll be retro. It'll be like Stranger Things, but with more cigarettes.
Knocked Up in the 90s, everyone.
It's time for the main event. Alice, are you a fan of the Beckhams?
I'm a big fan of the Beckhams.
I mean, am I a fan of the Beckhams? I feel like I'm a fan of the Beckhams against my will sometimes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. When I say fan of the Beckhams, like, do I think that they're making a really important impact on society? Absolutely not. Do I watch... Do I watch their stuff every time it comes out and just be like, this is nice to watch? Yup.
Yeah. And do I watch Brooklyn Beckham's Instagram with fevered anticipation? You fucking damn right I do. Yeah. Let's get into this. Here's Alison Boshoff talking all about Brand Beckham. And fans of detail will watch this and realise that it was recorded last week because we've changed outfits, we've changed microphones. Hang on a sec, you're about to miraculously switch into Alison Boshoff. It's magic. It's CGI. We're basically Avatar. So let's get into it. Now, we are joined today by someone who has spent years watching, analysing and reporting on the biggest names in showbiz. And now she's turned her attention to one of the biggest celebrity brands on the planet. David and Victoria Beckham have gone from a footballer and a Spice Girl to one of the most powerful celebrity couples in the world. They've survived scandals, they've survived criticisms, reinventions, and somehow turned their family name into a global empire. But how much of Brand Beckham was actually planned and carefully planned? Who's been really pulling the strings? And how did a couple who were mocked relentlessly become the blueprint for modern celebrity? Joining us is Alison Boshoff, or Bosh to her mates, whose new book, Brand Beckham, takes a deep dive into the Beckham machine from the early days of Posh and Becks to the fashion empire, the Netflix doc, the family brand, and of course, that infamous wedding. Alison, welcome to Celebrity Trenches. How are you doing?
Yeah, great.
How on earth did you find enough to write about the Beckhams that hasn't already been written about before?
There's so much to say, and there's plenty in the book that people don't already know, so which is great. And I did some research, spoke to probably 20 or 25 people. Most of them wouldn't be named, and they all gave fresh insight into. You see, because I'm just not interested in what happened. I always want to know the why of what happened. I want to know why it happened, why people act the way they do.
Show your workings.
So there's lots to. So there's still loads to unpack. And I had quite a tight time frame, so I actually would have liked to have had even more time to devote to it. So although actually I'm now at the point where I don't actually want to say the word Beckham, type the word Beckham, or read the word Beckham ever again.
I bet. And what brought the book on? Was it the fact that we've entered into this new era of Beckhams, which feels pretty precarious for them? Like the past kind of, say, I don't know, what, 4 or 5 years? Yeah. There's been an attempt to pass the baton onto the kids, right? And it has been disastrous, in my opinion. Would you agree with that? Is that a catalyst for this new era of Beckham fever?
Well, I think there are two separate interesting things going on here. I mean, I was asked to do the book directly because of Brooklyn's Instagram statement, which I'm sure we're going to get on to.
Wow.
So it was that week, I think it was like the Monday or Tuesday, he made a statement. And on the Friday, I had an email from someone at Penguin saying, can you write a book for us? So, yeah. That's
holy shit.
That is a hell of a turnaround.
Yeah.
That is a
So that's
deadline.
why I did it. And I had to do it by April. And I bumped into a friend. I was in LA for the Oscars, boasty, in March. And I said, I'm writing this book. I've got my deadline is the end of April. And he looks at me and goes, this April? I was like, yes, this April.
Oh my goodness me. And it's there on the shot. It's not a thin book. It's not a novella. This is a proper
77,000 words, chum.
I mean, I guess that says everything about how much we need to know about the Beckham, if you're interested in celebrity, of course, but also how much there is to write as well.
There's loads, and I think it's one of those things where you go back. When I was researching the book, I go back to David meeting Victoria. So I go from the first Beckham wedding, then up to Brooklyn's wedding. And there's a mirror fallout between David and his father as Brooklyn and his parents.
What was it? So Ted Beckham, isn't it?
Ted, yes.
What was the fallout? What was the fallout there?
The fallout there was Ted released this, and I should have brought it in. I found a copy on eBay, this beautiful, totally inoffensive coffee table book called David Beckham, My Son.
Yeah.
In 2005. Unfortunately for Ted, it came out just after the Rebecca Luce scandal broke.
Right.
And David was so furious about it. And
the fact that he'd done it at all.
He'd done it at all. And what Ted was is a fantastic chronicler of all of his son's early years. So Ted had collected every football stub, every little strip, every kit his son had worn from every club, every kit he'd bought him as a kid, his initial offer letter from Manchester United to come play for them, everything. And it was all done very nicely, but the Beckhams, he never got on with Victoria. Again, a real parallel that Ted thought that this woman was going to bring his son into directions that weren't good for him. But anyway, there was a feeling that this book had been done in a kind of underhanded way. Then the Beckhams thought, well, hang on, does Ted really own all this stuff? Surely this belongs to us. We want to own everything to do with us.
So the photos and the
yeah, all the memorabilia.
Have David and Ted got a fractured relationship before this?
It was difficult before this. Ted was the one who
he was
taught
quite
him
a
to play football.
demanding dad, wasn't
he pushed him
And he'd
like a
say,
dance mom.
not good enough, do it again, do
Yeah.
it better. So Ted was the one who created the footballer.
Yeah.
100%. Without Ted, we wouldn't have David.
So it's like Serena and Venus Williams.
Yeah.
And so maybe he's a bit traumatized by the ticket stubs because he's like, you forced me to go to these games.
And David said in the Netflix documentary that when everyone was abusing him, he said, I could take it
God.
because of the way my father had treated me growing up. So actually, Ted's very short-tempered, ferocious, and that really moulded David as a person and allowed him to just, absorb.
Let's talk about the Instagram post from Brooklyn, which has to be the most amazing celebrity story. We live for these stories, right, Bosh? They come along once a decade. I think not since Wagatha Christie had there ever been tea spilt from the horse's mouth so well, because the old adage, I think Kate Moss or the royal family is never complain, never explain, and that is the rule by which most A-lists live by, right?
Yes.
It's just don't say a word. So when you finally get a glimpse behind the curtain, it's fucking amazing.
And it wasn't just a glimpse, was it? It was, in 6 parts.
Yeah.
And every time, I was reading, going, what? And then you turn the page for more, you're like, oh my good God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have met Victoria over the years, have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And David. Yeah.
And I mean, you described their reaction in the book as, being apoplectic. They were just Victoria particularly was just devastated. Well, mainly because she came in
full
for
of sorrow.
She came in for so much of the flack, right? For kind of accused
but I don't think it
accused of
wasn't-
lap dancing her own son at his wedding.
It wasn't the public response
dancing
to
is
it.
such a reach.
It wasn't the public response to it which bothered them and devastated them. It was
Yeah,
the fact
they're
that their
used to
own
that.
son
Yeah.
had done this to them. I think they just were absolutely very deeply hurt and sorrowful.
Were they shocked by it?
Yes, they didn't think it would happen. And the Beckham position remains that they've done nothing wrong and nothing to apologise for. And the Brooklyn position is they pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. And eventually he said, F this. And then he wrote it. And then Nicola helped. And then Nelson's lawyers helped.
Yeah.
I found out in the book.
So that's your revelation.
It's not just him. It's not just him.
Because they were, let's just say the quiet bit out loud. It was probably the most eloquent thing Brooklyn Beckham's ever written. I'm not sure the handwriting was joined up, but it was very well written nonetheless. So your book reveals that he wrote the first draft, but then it was like, shit, we got to get the big dogs on this. So
other people had things they wanted to share, and I think when you look at it, you can kind of see that some parts of it really have very much a Nicola hallmark. You think, yes, this is Nicola's grouse, this bit.
Yeah,
about,
there's
the bit
an
about
agenda
the dogs.
here,
You thought,
right?
this is Nicola's grouse. This isn't what Brooklyn would really...
What was the thing about the dogs again?
About we asked my mum to help publicise dogs in homeless shelters during the pandemic, and she refused. I'm like, this is in the context of a family relationship
That's
breaking
so
down. This
crazy.
isn't the biggest
naff.
thing, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And what was the fallout from it? I mean, it must have been huge. And I think, we're making light of it, and I've spoken about it before. Actually, it's obviously just catnip to people that are into their celeb goss and the kind of scandalous side of stuff. But actually, underneath it, there's quite a sad family feud and family breakups, and the kind of fault lines that run through those kind of things are often quite irreparable.
Yes, and I think it's something that's, one of the reasons this story is so powerful, it's not just the thirst for celebrity gossip. And, by the way, there's nothing wrong with healthy curiosity about what's going on.
Yeah.
I remember Tony, who wrote Coronation Street, who actually, created it, once said to me, I'd walk 2 miles in tight shoes to watch 2 women having it out over a back garden fence. And, I
What a
think
great
that's,
phrase.
Isn't that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is Tony Warren. That's exactly what, we all have a bit of, curiosity. There's nothing wrong with it. But at heart, this is a family story, and it's familiar to everyone who's been in a family, everyone who has parents. And it's just about the status and the treatment of the person who a kid brings home and says they want to share their life with. And parents sometimes think that they have a place to comment or pass comment or make a judgment on that person. And what I'm just going to say, as the mother of a 24-year-old and a 19-year-old, you don't have any say. You put on a smile and you say, this person is the son or daughter I never had. How charming. And then you STFU, because no good will come of any other course of action than that.
And obviously with this one, though, there's an added layer, because the book is called Brand Beckham, right? And they, David and Victoria obviously had a very clear vision in their mind of their legacy and what Brand Beckham means, and what Harper and Romeo and what Tuxedo, whatever the other one was called, Cruise. Cruise was the one that no one saw for like 3 years, right? And Brooklyn as well, as to what it meant and how it could expand and how it could solidify and become this thing that wasn't all centered around David and Victoria. It's a bit of a shock to the system for them then to find out that Brooklyn, who arguably was the most famous of the four siblings, probably for all the wrong reasons, has chosen to break rank. And also the fact that he's shacked up with a family that are probably the least impressed by Brand Beckham that there could ever be. There can't be many families that you could marry into where the Beckhams would be so unimpressive to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any other family would be like, holy fucking shit, you're marrying the hell yeah, we're all in. But the Peltzes, probably 10 times richer, 10 times more influential in the United States. That must have rankled a little bit. It's like, shit, they can't curry any influence over these people.
No, their Instagram followings don't matter. They don't have any currency to spend in this world.
Yeah.
You look at the Peltz family. He's got 10 children, Nelson Peltz.
Wow.
Not only one of them has an Instagram account, which is Nicola, because she wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
None of the rest of them do that. And Nelson doesn't, of course. His wife doesn't, of course. He's a billionaire. She's a philanthropist. What do they need with this titting about on social media?
Yeah. God, they'd love stories. The ground zero of all of this was the wedding, right? The chaos that ensued around what sounds like the most hellish wedding on earth. How much of the stories that we've read, or the gossip that we've consumed, or the kind of, briefings that have been had against each other, how much of that was actually true? Because it sounded just fucking wild.
I think it was wild, and I think most of the stories are true. I think what hasn't come out before now is the context of it, and actually which allows you to make sense of it all. Because every wedding has a drama, but why did it land with so much force? Is the question. Because I thought, well, to and fro about who's going to make the dress. Well, who cares really? But that actually mattered because Victoria and Nicola didn't get on, or from almost directly after the engagement.
So fundamentally there was beef.
Yeah, and the problems at the wedding, you're like, someone took a dance someone else thought they were going to have. Well, that's just a miscommunication, misunderstanding. But why does it matter? It matters because, as I say in the book, the Beckhams were not on speaking terms with Brooklyn and Nicola for 3 months before the wedding. Right. So when you understand that, then you understand how some problem at the wedding falls like an atomic bomb, because these are people who actually aren't getting on already.
Yeah.
So when Nelson has paid, as I reveal in the book, $200,000 for this special revolving stage for Mark Antony to come out and go, surprise, surprise, I'm going to do the dance. And Nicola's gone and she's changed out of her wedding dress into a new party dress for this first dance to Mark Antony. This is a big moment in the wedding.
It's very planned.
And as someone said to me, why is Nelson Peltz going to spend $200K for his daughter not to have the first dance, for his new son-in-law to have a first dance with his mother? He's not. But the Beckham side is, we didn't know that this was the special moment
because they weren't speaking, so weren't privy to the conversation. So oh my god.
So is that because does it come up in the book? Because I'd love to know the play-by-play. So basically, there's this big special moment with the spinning stage and Mark Antony, and it's supposed to be Nicola and Mark Antony, or Nicola and
Brooklyn
and Mark Antony, and then does Victoria just get up on stage and dance with Mark Antony by herself?
No, Mark Antony invites Victoria to come to have the first dance with Brooklyn.
So Mark Antony fucked up then?
Well, yes, but but who told him to, or did he do it from his own?
Right.
Because he's friends with them.
He was invited. He was the wedding gift. Well, one or two wedding gifts. He was the wedding gift from the Beckhams to Brooklyn. Was his performance.
Right.
And the spinning stage.
You can see how the Brooklyn and Peltz side, they would just say, well, this is looks like sabotage.
So it
of
sounded
that
like a
happy
comedy of
engagement.
errors, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds quite funny overall.
I mean, it sounds about what you'd. I
the
mean,
spinning stage is really
you'd
funny.
love to be 4 drinks in,
And,
like, just watching it all.
people at the wedding didn't understand what the problem was, because all they saw was, spinning stage, big whoop. Brooklyn has a nice dance with his mum. No one thinks and no one can understand why is Nicola and run from the room in tears, followed by most of her family.
Oh, she ran from the room. But also, if Mark Antony's saying, Vicky, get up here and dance with your son, it would be rude for Victoria to be like, no, we're not on speaking terms right now. You have to.
Yeah.
Something that's always intrigued me about these books, Bosh, is like when you're having to assimilate all of this and like it's like an oral history, right? You're having to speak to as many people as you can. Are you Team Beckham? Are you in the inner circle, or are you not? Because that's what I often hear about the Beckhams. It's like you're either briefed by them or briefed against them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Is that a fair question to ask?
Yeah,
Is that a naughty one to ask?
No, ask away. I am not on either side, because I don't think that actually is journalism. It's not journalism, that's taking sides.
Yeah.
So my view is always, I want to hear from the people as close to the events as possible. And I have to get the briefing from both sides.
Yeah.
So on this occasion, I did get briefings from both sides.
Right, okay, fine. So there was not like closed doors. It was very much like we need to offer a balance here.
Yes. Although
It's mad that we're
people may
talking
or may
about
not
this.
now be speaking to me.
When you're in the celebrity trenches, like
Listen,
they're
the same
Beckhams are our
trenches.
generals.
Yeah. And I genuinely don't have a side either. I mean, I feel very sorry for everyone involved.
Yeah, I think it is quite sad, isn't it?
Yeah. After sifting through everything, and everyone made mistakes. Everyone's done things they probably shouldn't have done. Everyone's done ill-advised, stupid, mean things. People on both sides have been mean. So that's not a cop out. Genuinely, I do have a lot of sympathy on both sides.
And where are we, like, in present day? There is clear kind of like briefings coming from the Beckhams, like where they missed each other by 200 yards in Cannes when Brooklyn was on Elton's yacht, and the same, all of
the birthday
all
post.
of this kind of stuff, and the parallels between what's going on with Harry and the King and Meghan, and it's almost like identical, and you can see like the teams like
yes,
it's the succession.
It's mad. Is there a route to peace, or because most of us are all assuming, oh my God, well, Brooklyn's going to end up splitting up from Nicole Peltz at some point, and then he's going to have to come running back with his tail between his legs, because I can't imagine the prenup was very friendly towards Brooklyn Beckham, and he's not a man who strikes me. He's going to be able to. It's not going to go and work in a fucking Aldi, that's for sure.
But why do we assume that? Because he loves this woman, and he loves her so much that he's been willing to throw over his family for her.
I mean, he's burnt bridges
and that's very
unexpected.
powerful for her. This kid loves you so much that you are his world and his everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we should assume that the marriage won't last. I think there's a lot of wishful thinking around it. Honestly,
no, sure. Well, we want the drama, right?
Like there is with Harry and Meghan. People actually really would like for them to be really unhappy.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I think it is actually probably at its heart quite unpleasant.
That's quite British, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is,
very,
though.
very British.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No one hates a celebrity like a Brit.
Oh my
No,
God, no.
exactly. So, I think if we're waiting for that to happen, you might be waiting for quite a long time. And I think the next thing that happens is they do start a family. They want to start a family. They want to adopt or have a surrogate kid. So, yeah, I think that's the next thing that happens. Somebody has to be the bigger person to make peace. And apologise. And at the moment, the Beckhams don't want to apologise, but that's the way these things get put back together. Is someone apologises? Elton had a deathbed reconciliation with his own mother after she was awful about David Furnish. Again, it's exactly the same dynamic.
Shit gets real at some point, right? Either through death or babies.
Ted Beckham and David made up when Ted Beckham had a heart attack. I mean, God forbid, but sometimes sudden illness somewhere in the family will bring people to their senses, and everyone just goes, okay, do you know what, this is enough of this, let's everyone put down our guns, climb out of the trenches, and away we go.
What was the biggest revelation for you in doing the book? What was the little nugget that you were just like, holy shit, that's dynamite?
There were two things I think which I didn't really understand until I did the book, and one of them is kind of that matter of perspective and actually taking it from a long way. Because I wrote about Victoria a lot when she was in the Spice Girls, but it was only when I was speaking to somebody And they talked to me about how they'd had this incredible classic girl band relationship where it was like, who's got the best solo, who has the nicest outfits, you know, and there was all this endless jealousy.
Answer to that one was Emma Bunton.
And and the person said to me, the thing about all of this was Victoria became well schooled in the art of being a bitch. And then when I was looking at her relationship with Nicola Peltz, that started to kind of clang in my head. Right. And I thought, okay, I understand this, because there was all this passag nonsense about not liking things on Instagram. And I thought, and withholding favour.
Yeah.
But subtly, like in a way, like you could deny it. You could say, oh, no. Or nursing a vengeance, like someone did this.
Oh,
and
I
don't
like that
it.
post? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, someone did something that you didn't really like and you kind of subtly punish them for it. But you can always in a deniable way. And I thought, okay, that I really do understand now. And the other big misconception I think I had was that, because people always think Victoria wears the trousers because she looks kind of sulky.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks David's wonderful. So everyone thinks, oh, poor David, you know, being, you know, carted around from pillar to post by Victoria, she wears the trousers. And actually that was not at all the picture that I emerged with after writing the book and researching the book.
Audiences
in fact,
love
it's the
to get mad at
entirely the other way around, in fact.
Yeah.
So and that was really fascinating to me as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, celebrity or not, families have beef. All families do. And like you could leak my family's beef and it would be headlines. Like people would be like, oh, that's interesting. What happened after that? And imagine being the Beckhams with that on top. It's just, that's so fascinating. That's what everyone wants to know. But so there was not a lap dance at the wedding?
No.
Okay.
He said it
was
was
a letdown.
He described the dance as inappropriate because...
Yeah, which everyone took to be
timing.
like bump and grind.
That's what was crazy. It's like the timing was inappropriate. It wasn't the dance moves itself.
And the fact of the dance was inappropriate. It was inappropriate for her to have that dance because that was a dance that was
so the
Nicola.
dance as a concept was inappropriate.
Yeah.
She was not grinding into her son's lap at his wedding.
She was not dancing to the thong song.
I've spoken to 3 people who were there and there was no grinding.
Oh.
So that's what's so crazy is like this whole Instagram story post got signed off by not Nicola but also a team of lawyers, and they didn't think the word inappropriate dancing. Well, no, I think
it skirted it very much skirted around the issue, didn't it? Because we all thought of that.
You didn't, yeah.
Alison Boshoff, thank you so much for joining us in the trenches.
Welcome.
I love a bit of an insider goss, don't you?
Yeah, same. That was really interesting. It's always good when someone writes an entire book on how parasocial everyone else is.
Yeah.
About a famous couple.
Absolutely. Brand Beckham is out now. We have had a lot of comments this week.
We have indeed, actually.
Magnus Ferrell. We talked about, do you remember last week we talked about Magnus Ferrell?
Yes,
Nepo. We had a big Nepo baby discussion. Loads of interesting chat. So at GFG Geek got in touch. Give Magnus 1 or 2 Nepo points. Not everyone's dad plays their record to Michelle Obama on a podcast, getting her instant endorsement. This is true, but credit where it's due. He's a good singer, good song, and proud father bragging to his friend. Totally normal behaviour, just magnified.
Well done.
Eh?
Yeah.
Through celebrity. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, really, is like extremely talented guy, has had a bit of a humongous kickstart.
Yeah, and interestingly, we mentioned Savan when we talked about it. Savan's the like amazing songwriter, writes loads of stuff for Simon Cowell, wrote all the December 10 stuff. I said that Savan wrote this song. I was wrong. Savan got in touch. Savan said, I didn't write the song, but he's signed to my label. That's the connection. Yeah. He didn't write the song, but he signed. Good signing, Savan. Magnus wrote it with his best friend, Gabe. Thanks for listening, Savan.
Yeah, cool. Love that.
Do you want to come on and tell us about how much money you made writing What Makes You Beautiful?
Yeah, and who else?
We wouldn't be as vulgar as that. We'd wait until at least 2 questions in before we asked that.
We'd ask you what you had for lunch first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who we got next?
We have Play Attention Now is about the Nepo babies, Magnus Ferrell again.
Yeah.
Calling people Nepo babies comes from jealousy. Nepo babies have made some of the best art of our time. Why wouldn't you follow in your family's footsteps? It's kind of how the world works. Fair, which is totally fair. And if you'd listen to the podcast instead of just reading the headline,
that's what
we did
said.
Actually go into that. Yeah.
Have Nepo babies made some of the best art of our time? That's a grand statement.
I mean, yeah, like Ben Stiller's fucking Zoolander, dude. Like that has huge culture. And then probably like stuff from your era.
What, like fucking like Caractacus
Andy
Potts?
Warhol, was he Nepo?
Andy Warhol was not Nepo.
He made Nepo style art.
Sophia Coppola, Lost in Translation. That's a pretty good one. At Cottontown Sound, this is about Tom Holland and Zendaya selfie that I got with them. That picky alerted my daughter that this was happening. So we wandered over to the cemetery. Oh, God, this is actually a neighbour. And watched the filming with about a dozen other bystanders. Being in the industry, I could explain to my aspiring actress daughter what everyone's job was, etc. It was a lovely moment. I saw the film on Saturday, managed to count 6 shots of the cemetery. All that money, time and effort we witnessed for 6 shots. That was quite wild. They were there for like 2 days to get probably 4 seconds of footage for a Marvel film.
Yeah.
Amazing. The cemetery itself, which we're talking about, Europe's biggest cemetery, has been used for loads of TV shows, its most famous appearance being the closing scene of The Omen.
Oh, wow, that's
Have you watched The Omen? Have you ever watched The Omen?
Probably not.
Do you
I don't
like
think so.
horror films?
Yeah, I love them.
Oh, go and watch
I
The
find
Omen
them
is
I
the
get quite bored in
OG.
them. Oh, really? Okay, I'll watch it. I'll put it on my list. I thought for a second there you were going to say the actual cemetery has commented as well. And
Yeah, and been in touch saying, get off my land, you fucking...
I would not be surprised if like that cemetery did some community management and commented. But
very exciting. We have another WhatsApp voice note.
yes,
Is this Trench Dog 002? I think it may
Let's
well
find
be.
out.
Shall we have a listen?
please.
Hi guys, this is Beefy Steam Pig. Thanks for the username, love. I thought, given that, I better claim Trench Dog 002. Just wanted to say, yeah, don't say sorry for the boring chat. I love a bit of a geeky chat like that. The only reason I thought Holly might be doing a podcast is because I saw it on Spotify and Apple as well. But hey, I'm bound to the superior knowledge of you guys. Yeah, just wanted to say hi, loving the podcast and also loving the interviews as well. Thought the Richard Bacon one was brilliant. Love to see more of those as well as the dispatches. But yeah, great podcast, guys. See you later. Beefy out.
Beefy out. That
Wow.
was the wonderfully named Beefy Steam Pig.
Because we've had a couple of their comments.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear the voice behind the keys.
It is, isn't it? And you know what? Beefy Steam Pig. I mean, you are officially now Trench Dog 002.
Well done.
That's a given. We're going to keep calling you Beefy Steam
I
Pig too,
prefer it.
because that is such a great name. And you know what? You know what you get when you get officially numbered Trench Dog 002? You have got an explosive meltdown cap. Smells a little bit of Suavecito hair cream, but it's yours, baby. I can't let people see my hairline.
Quick.
Quick. There we go. Oh. That is it. Now, if you want to be Trench Dog 003, the vacancy is now open. What you've got to do is send us a WhatsApp voice note. Very, very specific. Fuck your emails, no texts, no DMs. It's got to be a WhatsApp voice note. And you do that by sending a voice note to 0779 665 7512. 0779 665 7512. Start your message with the word trenches. If you don't, a true crime podcast around the corner will be very, very confused. And don't forget to tell us your name.
Yeah, really, really, really important.
How else can they get in touch with us?
Also on social, Instagram, Celebrity Trenches, or TikTok at Celebrity Trenches as well. Yeah, other than that, just leave some bloody comments. You can comment on the Spotify, you can comment on the YouTube.
Yeah,
Love
or
to
you
see
can
it.
just stand, if you walk to Kensington High Street in London, if you scream loud enough in the street just before you get taken away, we'll probably hear you. So try that.
Yeah, also very good.
I mean, you get 2 hats if you do that. That's it. See you next week, Dick Splashes.
Bye.